Every new morning gives you a choice. You can stay where you are, or take the first step toward the life you've always imagined. The people who change the world aren't always the strongest or the smartest. They're the ones who refuse to stop believing. Ethan looked at the goals he had written years ago. Some were complete, others were still waiting. But none of them had been forgotten. He remembered the failures, the sleepless nights, and the moments when giving up felt easier than moving forward. Yet every setback taught him something success never could. He closed the notebook with a smile. Today wasn't about proving anyone wrong. It was about proving to himself how far he'd come. Confidence doesn't appear overnight. It's built one decision, one challenge, and one courageous step at a time. As Ethan walked through the city, people noticed something different. It wasn't his suit or his success, it was the quiet confidence that inspired everyone around him. When a young entrepreneur asked for advice, Ethan simply smiled and said, "Success begins the moment you stop doubting yourself." Those words would change a life forever. The young entrepreneur stood a little taller, smiled with confidence, and realized that one piece of honest encouragement could completely change the direction of a dream. Later that day, Ethan arrived at a leadership conference where hundreds of ambitious people were waiting to hear a message that could transform their future. As the lights filled the stage, Ethan looked across the audience. Behind every face was a story, a struggle, and a dream waiting to come alive. He didn't begin with impressive achievements. Instead, he spoke about fear, failure, and the courage to keep moving when everything feels impossible. The room became completely silent. Every word carried hope, reminding people that success doesn't belong to the lucky, it belongs to those who refuse to quit. One by one, people nodded in agreement. Some smiled with renewed confidence, while others quietly wiped away tears they had been holding back for years. At that moment, Ethan understood something powerful. Real leadership isn't about standing above people. It's about lifting others high enough to see their own potential. As thunderous applause echoed through the auditorium, Ethan took a deep breath and smiled. This wasn't the finish line, it was only the beginning of an even greater mission. The applause continued to fill the room, but Ethan's attention wasn't on the cheers. It was on the lives that might be changed by a single message of hope. People rose to their feet with smiles, tears, and renewed determination. In that moment, strangers became believers in their own potential. As the ceremony continued, Ethan's name was called to receive the Global Leadership Excellence Award. The audience erupted with excitement. Holding the award in his hands, Ethan smiled with gratitude. He knew the trophy wasn't a symbol of perfection, it was a reminder of perseverance. Camera flashes filled the room as reporters gathered around him. But Ethan remained humble, giving credit to every mentor, friend, and challenge that shaped his journey. During the interview, he shared one simple truth: success means very little if you don't use it to help someone else succeed. The next morning, instead of celebrating, Ethan visited a local youth center, proving that true leadership begins with serving others. The children listened with bright eyes and hopeful smiles. As Ethan encouraged them to dream big, he realized the greatest legacy isn't wealth, it's inspiring the next generation. Before leaving, Ethan handed each child a simple notebook and said, "Write down your biggest dream today, because every great journey begins with a single idea." Later that afternoon, Ethan joined local volunteers to plant a young tree. He smiled and said, "Success grows the same way this tree does, one day at a time." As sunlight shined through the fresh green leaves, Ethan reflected on how patience, consistency, and hope always produce lasting results. Soon after, a struggling entrepreneur asked Ethan for guidance. Instead of offering shortcuts, Ethan shared a practical plan built on discipline, learning, and persistence. Weeks later, the small business began to grow. Customers returned. The team smiled with confidence, and hope replaced uncertainty. Watching the team celebrate their success, Ethan quietly stepped back. He believed the greatest reward was seeing others discover their own strength. Looking across the city lights, Ethan realized that the journey of growth never truly ends. Every achievement simply opens the door to another opportunity to serve and inspire. The next morning, Ethan stood at the edge of a cliff, watching the first light break across the horizon. Every sunrise reminded him that no matter how difficult yesterday was, today always offers a fresh beginning.